Gym from Animal Ability and fitness contributor for Wild Warrior Nutrition. The first thing we're going to do today is a video on body work, soft tissue therapy. Let's get to it. Okay, here's my son Tyr doing a sacral reset. You want to do an isometric pull and push without letting the legs move. Just block them with your hands. 5 to 10 seconds. You can do it a couple times if needed. And we're going to put an object between the knees. Okay, I'm going to go narrow here and adduct as hard as you can for 10 seconds. Trying to get a pop in your sacrum if it will audibly adjust. Now he's going to put the trigger point cone into his QL, which is just above the pelvis to the side of your vertebrae in your low back area. You'll actually see it when he does the other side. He's rolling around, moving around circularly and all that on this soft tissue only. This can be pretty painful if you're really, really tight in that area. And here he goes with the other side. Soft tissue only. Don't let it nick the floating rib or anything like that. Pretty hard to hurt yourself with this, but you know, if you try, you could definitely do it. Okay, now he's doing the piriformis. So he stuck that into the fleshy part of his glute, just to the side of the sacrum. Got that leg crossed over, actually putting a little more tension on it by lifting off the floor with the opposite leg. Then he's going to move it to the other side, showing you what the trigger point cone looks like. It's basically a cone shape, kind of semi-soft rubber or silicone. Increase the intensity by lifting the leg. You can see the intensity is increased by the look on his face. Okay, now he's going to use a softer ball and he's going to do the psoas muscle. Now, if with this leg out on the same side, it's not as intense. So he's going to put the opposite leg out. He decided to switch back to the easier side. Rolling on soft tissue here. Now, if you put the opposite leg out and the same side leg straight, it's going to be much more intense. Obviously, he couldn't take it. A lot of times this muscle is very involved with low back pain. It is the only muscle. Oh, now he's going to... now he switched. Okay, a little too intense for him. But this muscle is the only muscle that crosses from the upper body to the lower body. Okay. Now he's just going to do a thoracic stretch just under the shoulder blades or right on the bottoms of them, and just reaching his arms overhead. You can grab your elbows, which will make it more intense. Now he's got a little bit of a bend so he can arch and touch. Now here we're going to do a chest opener. You just want to get something that's high enough to put your elbows and forearms on, and then just lay there. You can kind of move back and forth to feel your pec minor, right where it connects up into the deltoid junction there. Stretching out, make it dynamic by moving. And here we go with the trigger point cone in the top of the hamstring. I'm going to move the leg, extension, flexion, extension, flexion. Now this one can be pretty intense. You can also use the softer ball for this. It's like a softball size inflatable ball. You can get a good closer look of it here. He's going to use it for the chest release, the pec minor release. You can do this against a wall, like an open doorway. Okay, right on the pec minor, right up to the deltoid junction. Put as much or as little pressure as you want. Now he's going to do it with the trigger point cone, which this is much more intense. You can order these trigger point cones off Amazon or other fitness places. Okay, now we're going to do the extensors with wrist flexion. You just get it on the back of your arm in your extensors, the soft tissue there. Don't put it on bone. And just move your wrist up and down. Try to feel for tight spots. Try to target them, trigger point. Find the trigger point and just move your wrist into flexion and extension. This is the last thing we're going to show today. It's a really good one if you're having hand and wrist pains and elbow pains, especially due to tight extensors.